Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at 5 cases for the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra from Ghostek. Now, these were sent over for review purposes. We've got cases pretty much fitting every style and price point. I think that the Covert is the least expensive at around 15 or 16 US, and then the most expensive is the Nautical because it's actually IP68 waterproof. 20 feet of depth it can survive for 1 hour, which is really impressive. So if you know you need that, a good choice. The iron armor, I think, is around 26. I think the Exec 4 is also somewhere around there. So I'm not sure on the Atomic Slim, but I'll include links in the description for all of these. So let's go ahead and start out with the one in the center, the Atomic Slim 3. And again, these were sent over for review purposes. I'm not paid to do any reviews, never have taken $1, never plan to. That undermines the entire ethical process of sharing anything with any of you. So this has a clear back, aluminum alloy built in based on the packaging that I read earlier. And the clear back's good for those of you that want to show off what your phone, the color scheme of your actual device. Let's go ahead and just pop this in. One of the things I already know from having had Ghostek cases in the past, which is nice, is that very easy on the install side. You know, some manufacturers make things a little bit more difficult. Ghostek is not one of them. So silver trim on the buttons I think is nice. The clear back, if again you want to show off the color choice you've made, is nice to have, but you are making a trade-off on protection because this is just plastic. But you do have, I believe, as I said earlier, an aluminum alloy finish around combined with polycarbonate or a rubber textured substance. So it feels good in the hand, looks good. I like that it's low profile. All the cutouts are as they should be. You know, no microphone impeded, no charging ports impeded, no speaker impeded. So looks good. Nice case. Atomic branding right here on the side. Definitely, I think, a good choice if, again, you're focused on that clear back. You're not going to have problems with wireless charging, and it does keep the camera module recessed for those of you that are worried. Let's go ahead and pop this out and move on to the next one. Shouldn't be too difficult to pop it out. Hopefully, not looking to damage anything. Case or phone. There we go. Almost lost it. Let's go on to the next one. So let's take a look at the Covert 4. Now, as I mentioned, the Covert 4 is the least expensive of these cases. It has a kickstand, completely clear. Basically, a silicone skin is what we're about to see. A raised camera lip. I didn't show you this on the other case that we just looked at, but very similar concept. We do get paperwork that I haven't been mentioning, a little sticker, so that's cool. Not a bad thing. And this, you know, as far as cost effectiveness is going to be, I think, very popular, especially if you care about having a kickstand. There you go. Pop it right on. You're good to go. Now, one word to those of you, if you've already purchased cases like this in the past, these clear silicone skins do tend to get dirty. So be aware of that. All of the reflection you're seeing is, of course, the actual back of the phone because it is clear. The kickstand, believe it or not, is metal. Samsung, take some notes. So if you want to have something that's got protection as well as a way to watch something, you've got it here. I don't think that's going to work in portrait, and the answer is it doesn't. The buttons, tactile, you know, they feel like they should. Cutouts, again, are appropriate. Ghostek's been doing this for a while, folks, so I'm expecting good products across the board. Again, I was familiar with them from previous purchases before any sort of relationship for a reviewing process like we're going through here today. So I like this case. I mean, at the end of this video, I should be able to tell you which is my favorite. I can already tell you that the iron armor over here is not my style just because I'm not a huge fan of those kind of gigantic cases, but people who, you know, want to have, the most protection as well as the ability to clip it to their belt, you know, that's what that's going to be best suited for. Let's take a look at this Exec. Now, the Exec has a 4-card detachable wallet, and this does appeal to me depending on fit and finish because you know, it's something I've always thought about doing but have never actually done. Now, this is so far one of the lightest cases of the group. In terms of how this detaches, I believe it just clips right on. But let's get the phone in there first. Again, easy install. This is one of the reasons that I thought most of you would appreciate what Ghostek does. You know, seems like I caught a lip there. We're in. Good to go. And the other cases I've covered so far besides Ghostek are Poetic as well as Pitaka, and of course Samsung's official rugged case. And now that we have more options, that's why I'm sharing more options. You know, it's a shame Ghostek didn't get these out to me earlier. It would have served all of us better, because I know a lot of people have been looking for cases for a long time. So the wallet section, it looks like that's pretty much it. You're going to drop your cards in there. I don't see any way to actually divide, but so up to 4 credit cards, and I believe this unit pops off, but I'm not going to play with it. Buttons, again, all feel the way they should. Cutouts look good. I like that the S Pen on this case is a little less recessed than it is, but you know, also you're not getting as much as beefy protection as what we've looked at so far. But if you're the type of person that, you know, doesn't carry cash, especially in a pandemic, I mean, cash is cancer as far as I'm concerned. In fact, I'm not a big fan of cash, even when there are no pandemics in play. This is probably going to appeal to you. And I'm just looking to see on the packaging, it does slide off. Let's just take a look. So raised camera lip, they all are protecting the camera lip. And yes, it does slide off, it looks like. Yeah, there we go. See, I can read good. And there it is. So in the event, you know, you don't want to keep your cards on there, you can pop it off. And in the event you want them, it should just slide right back on. You're not going to have any problems with wireless charging or anything like that. It's also talking about a magnetic mount for this. So definitely another cool option for those of you that are interested. Let's get on to the Nautical. Now the Nautical, I think, is actually, or you know what, let's save the Nautical for last, because I think the Nautical is the most attractive for me personally. Now I'm not basing that on fit and finish. I'm basing that on what I potentially see as something really usable. You know, you're going to the beach, when that becomes a thing again, at least for me, that I think it's safe. That's where, you know, if I'm going scuba diving, something like that, having this case on there, not because I plan on taking this underwater and doing things with it, but just having that level of protection, knowing that if it goes overboard, I can retrieve it, hopefully. I mean, if you're really diving 20 feet, you're going to be screwed. But in a pool, in that environment, you know, that is where this is going to thrive. So you live in that pool life, you're having your cocktails, you want protection, you want to make sure that if it does go in the pool, it's going to exceed the actual IP rating of the phone itself. This is a great way to do so. Also, every time you get your phone wet, do remember that even though these are rated to get wet, it is not good for the phones. Manufacturers don't like to disclose that. The reality is it's never good to get these things wet, even if they have IP68 ratings. So the Iron Armor 3. Holster with kickstand. This is going to be the bulkiest of them all. And as I was saying earlier, most likely my least favorite, just because this is a already gigantic phone that I'm not looking to make any larger. But for those of you that isn't an issue, you're probably going to be interested in this, because you do have the ability to throw 1 credit card on there, which is nice. Multi-layered, non-slip grip, the raised camera lip again, the swivel belt clip. Let's take a look. And really the great thing about all of these, which I mentioned, this is a harder case, is just that they're not expensive. I mean, the most expensive is that Nautical, and again, that's because it's for a very specific user. So actually, I spoke too soon, because this is nicer than I expected it to be. I say that only because this feels like a screen protector in here, but does it come with a screen protector? Am I losing my mind? Did Ghostek do that? Yeah, so there's a screen protector in here. Okay. I did not see one in any of the others, so this is going to afford you a screen protector as well, which is cool. This looks and feels familiar. Let's go ahead and pop it in. Again, easy on, should be easy off. Buttons are tactile. Everything is exposed as it should be. Camera is recessed and does have that extra lip. Kickstand, let's see how this works. So similar to the Poetic. You need to lock this into place. But the good news here is that you can go portrait as well as landscape. So that already, in terms of a kickstand feature, is great. I'm actually liking this more than I thought. See, you've got to, sometimes you got to shut up and check things out before you speak. There is your credit card slot. So pretty slick. I actually kind of like that idea in a way better, because if you know that you primarily stick with one credit card, that might be all that you need. Of course, if you lose your phone, you lose your credit card. You know how that story goes. But those of you that are interested in this already know that. And then when it comes to this guy, again, this is the part I have no interest in. The day that I start wearing holsters, please, somebody tell me to check myself. But that's not a knock. If I worked in a field where I needed it, totally applicable. And, I remember the days where I did use something and didn't think anything of it like this, but we're going back like 20 years. So that's when I feel like this was still a thing. But I still see people regularly using these, so it's still applicable. If you work in construction, you don't have to work in construction, but there are a lot of fields where you don't want to have it in your pocket. And then with this sort of protection, you don't really have to worry about anything hitting it, because you've got coverage on all sides. Now, keep in mind, while it's in the holster, you're not going to be able to get access to the credit card slot, but that is not a big deal. And remember, this does also come with the screen protector, which is not something I saw with any of the others. So seems to be a solid value for what they put together here. And now, last but not least, we're on to the Nautical. Let me just throw this back in. And this, I was surprised. I was not expecting to really even give this one a thought, meaning the iron armor, just because of its size. But I have to say, even, if I essentially ditch the holster part, still a pretty nice case right there. But last but not least, the Nautical 3. So, extreme proof. So all weather conditions, multi-layered, non-slip, of course, hexagon grip, raised camera lip, and then your watertight port seal, which we're going to see right now. So this, again, for me, most compelling, just because, as I've been mentioning, if this is something, this one, is going to give you an experience you're not going to get with the other cases. So let me go ahead and dump that out right there. So they're giving you wipes to actually clean this out. And this reminds me of any waterproof enclosure you have for a camera, because you've got to make sure that no dust is sitting where the seal is actually going to happen. So they give you some wipes, which is smart. There's their sticker, as well as some tabs here for, let's see, what does it say? Peel off from the protective film, blah, 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 blah. So you do have instructions. They give you a lanyard as well, because this is some real deal stuff here. And then what do we have here? Let's see. So there's the lanyard. We'll get the Ghostek decal out of the way. The wipes, as I said, dry and wet. So number one is peel off the protective film on the fingerprint recognition. Okay, so because of fingerprint recognition, that makes sense. Step two, make sure that there is no protector on your phone. So, by the way, compatibility with glass screen protectors is going to vary from case to case here. I no longer have a screen protector on this phone. So, just a word to those of you that are curious about compatibility. I can't speak to that today. Step three, put the phone into the case and seal it using your finger to press the film on the fingerprint recognition area of the upper cover to make the film fit closely with the phone without bubble. So no air bubbles, because this is an airtight case. That's the whole idea. And four, add your fingerprint again. So this is all about just making sure that you don't lose your fingerprint. And they actually show the cutout there. So let's go ahead and actually drop this in and see how things work out. Now, granted, I am not doing this for an official seal, as you should be if you were going the distance with this. And you do want to make sure that there's no stuff on the phone, because that's the whole idea here, is that if you have stuff on the phone, this is just not, it's not going to be an ideal solution for you, because it's not going to keep things watertight. It just isn't going to happen. So hopefully I'm doing this correctly. I mean, this is, a whole nother level of protection. As I said, I was saying throughout the course of this entire video that, this is all kind of easy peasy stuff. This is the first one where they're actually giving us a bit of work because, as I've stated, you're making sure that this is going to be waterproof. So let's see if I'm doing this correctly. Hopefully. I'm actually going to try to come in on the side. I don't think that's going to work, though. So, and I don't want to compromise this. Looks like the way I've got to come in, it has to start on that side is what it looks like. Yeah, that's it. So start on the right, come in on the left. Now we are in, I believe, just about. Seems like it. There we go. All right, so now it's in. Again, you want to, follow their instructions. Make sure you don't have any hair in the seal. If you do, you can't really expect anything. And then last but not least, seal it up. And this is how we're going to form, if I can do it, the complete coverage that's going to seal your phone in there and give you IP68 rating that is beyond the actual IP68 rating that you already have. And it's not as bad as I thought. It's actually pretty straightforward. I probably made it look more complicated than it is. The phone is now in there. Of course, some plastic on the back here. Not sure I want to remove anything at this point, at this juncture, but this could also be ideal for anyone who wants to, take this snorkeling, basically. Again, another layer of protection. And as you can see here at the bottom, like any weatherproof camera, you have your ports sealed. So if I can get my nail in there, I don't have very long nails. This is proving to be more difficult than I anticipated. This is the hardest part. I'm trying. I got no nails. Well, they certainly made sure that this thing is really sealed in there. Come on, baby. Oh. Well, this part, I'm not trying to see if I can rip my finger off, but it really is sealed in there, unless that is a lock. I don't think it is. So basically, your S Pen and your charging port are totally sealed in there, which I expected, but I also expected to be able to open it to show you how to get in there. But it's giving me a harder time than usual, and I don't have much on the side of nails, so that could be it. But it's a good thing. I mean, the truth of the matter is that if you want to make sure this thing is really sealed, the fact that I can't open it is a good sign. But otherwise, access to everything else in terms of that should have access is there, and then when it comes to the buttons, no problem. So which do I think is the most compelling? Well, I've already said, for me, this is the guy I'm most, that sounds odd. It's not a guy, it's a case. This is the case I'm most interested in, simply because I see it having practical purpose, unlike a traditional case. Because I know, again, you want to go snorkeling, you've got a way to protect the phone and not worry. In terms of all of the other cases that we've looked at today, I actually think that my favorite from this group, I have to say, is between, I'm not going with the Covert simply because these clear cases, I know a lot of people love them. I liked them until I learned how dirty they get. I think it's probably going to be this guy right here, which again is the Atomic Slim. And that's because you do have a metal build. Yes, this backing is clear, but the profile is really low. I like the design, I like the trim, but who knows? I mean, the exec with the wallet is pretty cool too. At any rate, you got a lot of options here, 19 minutes, 5 different cases. Hopefully this gave you insight into which one is right for you. And again, all different price points from 15 all the way up to 50. This is my favorite only because, as I mentioned, this does something that no other case that I've touched so far for this phone can do, which is give you true waterproof capability that no other cases in this lineup can afford. And again, if you need the really robust and the ability to clip to the belt, best kickstand, that was here. I personally do like having a kickstand, but it all depends at how much of a cost that's going to come to the bulking up of the phone. When it comes to making this waterproof, that to me is the most impressive thing of all of these. But there you have it. Again, Ghostek doing a good job. I think a lot of solid options, and they do have different colors. So again, check the links in the description. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. Hit that like button. And as usual, please feel free to subscribe and please stay safe. Later.